Treasure of Treasures of the Alchemist by Philippe Theophras Bombas, the great Paracelsus. Nature engenders this mineral in the bosom of the earth. There are two species that can be found in various localities in Europe. The best I've had, and who has been found good after Asai, is outside in the figure of the superior world, at the east of the solar sphere. The second is found in the southern star, and also in the first flower that the mistletoe of the earth produces on the star. Alright, this passage is incomprehensible. So here is the Latin text with verbatim translation. Optimum quitod mihi obledum, AC in experimentado, genuine inventum est extra in figura majoris mundi. Est in oriente astris fer salis alterum in astra meridionali, jam in primo flora est, quem viceter se persuni astrum producet. The most effective method that was suggested to me, and verified through experimentation, has proven to be authentic when applied in the broader context of the world. It lies in the eastern region, aligned with the prominent star within the realm of salt. After the first fixation, it turns red, and all the flowers and all the colors are hidden from it mineral. The philosophers wrote a lot about this, because it is of a cold and humid nature close to that of water. For all things science and experience, the philosophers who preceded me have targeted the rock of the truth, but none of their strokes met the mark. They believed that mercury and sulfur were the principles of all metals, and they did not mention, even in a dream, the third principle. However, if by the spagyric art one separates in addition to water, it seems to me that the truth that I proclaim is sufficiently demonstrated. Neither Galen nor Avicenna knew it. If I had to describe for excellent physicists the name, the composition, the dissolution, the coagulation, if I had to say how nature acts, in being since the beginning of the world, it would be enough for me barely a year to explain it, and the skins of a whole herd of cows to write it down. Now, I affirm that in this mineral, we find three principles, which are mercury, sulfur, and metallic water, which serve to nourish it. Spagyric science can extract the metallic water from its own juice when it is not quite ripe, in the middle of autumn, even the pear on the tree. The tree contains the pear in power. If the stars in nature agree, the tree first emits branches around March, then the buds grow, they open, the flower appears, and so on until autumn when the pear ripens. It is the same for metals. They are born in a way similar in the bosom of the earth. That the alchemists who seek the treasure of treasures note this carefully. I will show them the way, the beginning, middle, and end. In the following I will describe water, the sulfur, and the particular balsam of the treasure. By resolution and conjunction, these three things will unite into one. The sulfur of cinnabar. Take some mineral cinnabar and operate like this. Cook it with rainwater in a stone vase for 3 hours. Then purify it carefully and dissolve it in aqua regia composed of equal parts of vitriol, nitre, and sal ammoniac. Another formula, vitri. Ol salpetta, alum, and common S, distilled in a pot still while cohobing. Cohobation, alchemical laboratory work, refers to a process of heating and sealing substances within a vessel to promote their intimate comb. Ination or union. It involves subjecting the materials to controlled heat while maintaining a closed system, allowing them to interact and undergo chemical transformations. The term cohobation is often used in the context of alchemical operations involving the union of different components or the dissolution of substances in a closed vessel. This technique aims to create an enclosed environment that encourages the desired reactions and facilitates the formation of new compounds. Cohobation is an important method employed in alchemical practices to achieve the desired transmutations and refine substances towards their perfecti. You will separate so carefully the pure from the impure. Then ferment for a month in horse manure. Then separate the elements according to the following. When the sign appears, start by distilling in the alembic, still with first degree fire. Water and air will rise, fire and earth will remain in the background. Cohob and feed the still over the ash fire. Water and air will rise first, then the element of fire, which skilled artists will easily recognize. The earth will remain in the bottom, from the alembic you shall collect it. Many have sought it, and few have found it. You will prepare according to the art this dead earth in a reverberatory furnace. Then you will apply the fire of the first degree to it for 15 days and 15 nights. This done, you will apply the second degree to him for as many days and as many nights. Your matter will have been enclosed in a hermetically sealed vessel. You will finally find a volatile salt similar to a very light alkali, containing in itself the essence of fire and earth. Mix this salt with the two elements you put aside, air and water. Put heat on the ashes for 8 days and 8 nights, and you will find what many of artists have neglected, separate according to the rules of the spagyric art. Note, according to the spagyric art, the separation process involves the extraction and isolation of different components from a plant or substance. It consists of several steps. Maceration. The starting material is soaked or immersed in a suitable solvent, such as alcohol or water, to dissolve the desired constituents. Filtration. After maceration, the mixture is filtered to separate the liquid extract from the solid residue. Distillation. The liquid extract is then subjected to distillation, a process that involves heating the solution to vaporize the volatile components. The vapors are collected and condensed to obtain a purified distillate. Calcination. The solid residue left after filtration is subjected to high heat or calcined to remove impurities and obtain a purified ash. Sublimation. Some substances undergo sublimation, a process where they are heated to convert directly from a solid to a vapor state and then condensed to obtain the purified substance. Reconstitution. After the desired components have been separated and purified, they can be recombined in specific proportions to create a new refined product. This process is known as reconstitution. The spagyric art emphasizes the separation and purification of the different components of a plant or substance to obtain the purest and most potent essences. By isolating and recombining these components, practitioners aim to enhance their medicinal and energetic properties, and you will collect a white earth devoid of its dye. Take the element of fire and the salt of the earth. Let the pelican digest to extract the essence. It will separate once again into an earth that you will set aside. The red lion. Then take the lion that passed first through the container as soon as you see its tincture, that is to say, the fire that stands above water, air, and earth. Separate it from its impurities by trituration. You will have then real potable gold. Sprinkle it with alcohol of wine to wash it. Then distill in a still until you no longer taste the acidity of aqua regia. Then carefully enclose this sun oil in a hermetically sealed container. Heat to elevate it so that it sublimates and splits. Then place the vessel still tightly closed in a cool place. Reheat to rise, refrigerate to condense. Repeat this maneuver 3 times. You will thus have the perfect tint of the sun. Save it for later. The green lion. The air you had put aside. Mix. Putrefy for a month as it was said. The putrefaction finished, you will notice the sign of the elements. Separate, and you will soon see 2 colors, white and red. Red is above white. The red tincture of vitriol is so powerful that it dyes all white bodies red, and all red bodies white, which is wonderful. Work on this tincture in a retort, and you will see the blackness come out of it. Put back into the retort what has been distilled, and start again until you obtain a white liquid. Be patient, and do not despair of the work. Rectify until you find the green lion shining and true, which you will recognize by its great weight. It is the tincture of gold. You will see the signs admirable of our green lion, that none of the treasures of the Roman lion could not pay. Glory to him who knew how to find it and draw the tincture from it. It is the real balm natural of the celestial planets. It prevents putrefaction bodies, and does not allow leprosy, gout, dropsy to implant itself in the human body. When it has been fermented with the sulfur of gold, it is prescribed in the dose of a grain. Ah, Charles the German, what have you done with your treasures of science? Where are your physicists? Where are your doctors? Where are these bandits who purge and medicate with impunity? Your firmament is turned upside down. Your stars, out of their orbits, wander far from the swampy path that had been laid out for them. So your eyes were struck with blindness, as by an incandescent coal, when you beheld our splendor and our superb pride. If your followers knew that their Prince Galen, who is in hell, wrote me letters to recognize that I am right, they would make the sign of the cross with a fox's tail. And your Avicenna, he sits on the threshold of hell. I discussed with him his potable gold, physical tincture, mithridate, and theriac. O hypocrites, who despise the truths taught you by a true doctor, instructed by nature, a son of God himself. Go always, impostors, who only prevail with the help of high protections, but be patient. After my death, my disciples will rise up against you. They will drag you in the face of the 2, you and your dirty drugs, which serve you to poison the princes and the great ones of Christendom. Woe to your heads on the day of judgment. Me, at contrary, I know that my kingdom will come. I will reign in honor and glory. It's not me who praises nature, for she is my mother and I still obey her. She knows me and I know her. Their light that is in it, I contemplated it, I demonstrated in the microcosm, and I found it in the universe. But I must return to my subject to satisfy the desires of my disciples, whom I willingly favor when they are endowed with natural lights, when they know astrology, and especially when they are skillful in philosophy, which teaches us to know matter of all. Take 4 parts by weight of the metallic water that I described, 2 parts of the earth of red sun, 1 part of sun sulfur. Put it all in a pelican, solidify, and disintegrate 3 times. You will thus have the tincture of the alchemists. We will not speak here of its properties since they are indicated in the book of transmutations. With 1 ounce of tincture of the sun, you can tint 1,000 ounces of sun. If you possess the tincture of mercury, you can likewise tint the body completely with vulgar mercury. Likewise, the tincture of Venus will completely transmute into metal, perfected the body of Venus. All these things have been confirmed by experience. You have to hear the same thing for the tinctures of the other planets, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the moon, because from these metals we draw also dyes. We will not say anything about it here, having amply spoken of in the treatise on the nature of things and in the Archidoxes. I have sufficiently described the spage or LCs, the raw material of metals and minerals. Now they know the tincture of the alchemists. It takes no less than 9 months to prepare this tincture. Therefore, work with ardor without being discouraged. During 40 alchemical days, fix, extract, sublime, putrefy, coagulate in stone, and you will finally obtain the phoenix of the philosophers. But don't forget that the sulfur in cinnabar is an eagle which flies without making wind, and that it carries the body of the old phoenix in a nest where it feeds on the element of fire. Her babies are tearing out her eyes, which produces whiteness. This is the balm of his intestines which gives life to the heart, as have been taught the Kabbalists.